A moment of silence for all of the Leafs fans that clicked on this video.
This team is ruining my life!
Thank you. Avs win over the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-4 in overtime.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
Oh, you can't make this stuff up when it comes to the Leafs. It's almost a little bit hilarious. Okay, if you're not a Leafs fan, it's a lot of bit hilarious. The Avs were a tale of two different sides of the ice tonight. I thought their offense all night long was high quality, they played good hockey, and that side of the ice certainly deserved the win. The defense, at least in the first half of the game, was kind of a complete hot garbage pile disaster, but they managed to get away with it. First of all, credit to Jack Campbell. I thought he played great tonight. The Avs ultimately found a way to get 5 goals past him, but this could have been a very different game if he wasn't stonewalling the Avs for the majority of it. I thought the first 5-6 minutes of this game were pretty darn good for the Avs. They came out hot. They were pushing the play on the offensive side. They had a great power play. Even if it didn't manage to score a goal, they were really putting the pressure on the Leafs. And then the defensive side started turning the puck over, struggling to get it out, getting pinned in their own zone, and just making blatantly egregious errors all the way around. Yeah, you know what happens when that goes on. The Avs get scored on. Avs have the puck in the offensive zone, and Ryan Murray decides to send it in deep. I don't really have a problem with the decision Murray makes here, but when EJ walks in and decides to pull this trigger, he misses it high and skitters the puck out of the zone on the far side. Now, the Avs have a defenseman deep in the zone. It's a bit of a problem. Burakovsky is the man back, and while he does take a terrible route to the puck and gets beat, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world, and he does a decent job tracking down his man to prevent disaster from happening. The problem here is EJ. If we back this up a couple frames, he just never checks Kerfoot. He's skating right down the middle of the ice. He doesn't check the passing lane and where Kerfoot is setting up at all. And it's a great play by Kerfoot to slow up here. He knows he has O'Connor beat significantly on the back check, and he can just stop at the top of the zone while EJ doesn't check, just continues skating off down into the corner, somewhat towards the puck carrier, and he just takes himself out of the play entirely. His slide did not even cover the passing lane to Kerfoot because he just lost him. Kerfoot then finishes pretty nicely on Kemper. Go ahead and check off the X-Player curse on that one. You knew it was bound to happen because it always does. It's just got to be better on the defensive side. Yes, EJ needs to be better, but the team as a whole tonight, I think one of my biggest concerns in this game was the Avs on the back check. Usually, the Avs are the better skating team, and they can get away with a lot kind of coasting back on the back check because they've already tired the other team out. They can't hang with their skating. The Leafs can absolutely hang with the Avs skating and punish them for lazy back checks on multiple occasions tonight. It needs to be better. So not great, but not the end of the world. We've seen the Avs don't really have any trouble playing from one down early in a hockey game as of late. The problem is when you start to give Leafs more offensive zone time, this guy named Austin Matthews exists, and he's pretty good at hockey and specifically shooting a hockey puck. He's good at a lot of other stuff, too. But you probably shouldn't leave that guy too open. In the span of 33 seconds, he scores twice on the Avs, and this game seemingly spirals out of control. First off, check out Berkey's stick get absolutely yeeted here on this play. Kind of funny. I don't really have a problem with it. Berkey got to hold on to your stick, bud. He just tried to lift it and send it to the moon. Works it back out high to Riley. Riley throws it in for what looks like a tip play to Matthews. It pinballs around in off of him, looks like off of Taze's skate, and just comes right back out onto Matthews' stick as Kemper is trying to track it. Matthews just flips a backhander top shelf. I mean, it's a tough bounce. This is kind of a weird one. You're going to see Matthews throw a puck in deep, and Cale is marking him up along the far side there. And Cale just kind of stays out there. As you'll see, Taves in deep is going to end up losing a puck battle. McKinnon as well just doesn't get his stick on this puck, so all of a sudden the Leafs have it in behind the net strong, and Matthews just kind of cruises in. It looks like there was no communication between Landeskog and Makar on who's going to cover a man crashing there, and it's just not good enough. Landy you see turning around, trying to come back, not really covering anything, and Makar just gets caught on the outside wall, probably thinking McKinnon was going to come up with that puck and up and out of the zone that they could go. Instead, it opens up an easy lane for Matthews to rip an absolute bomb. Look, I don't blame Darcy Kemper for any of those goals. You have essentially what ends up being a breakaway for Kerfoot, a ridiculous bounce to one of the best shooters in the league, and then the best shooter in the league, again, just gets to walk in uncontested and rip a one-timer on you. Pretty much every goalie in the league is going to get beat by certainly the two Matthews shots, and a lot of them are going to get beat by Kerfoot there too. The Avs defense is better than this, and we know that. And it's not just the defenders. When I say defense, I think some people get confused sometimes. I mean the Avs team defense as a whole. A lot of the problems in their defensive play are stemming just as much from the forwards than the actual defensemen. Look, there's no way to sugarcoat this one or put a cherry on top of it. You go down 3 goals, it's bad. Full stop. Not going to say anything about that, but Bednar calls his timeout, decides to yank Kemper and put Francouz in to wake up the Avs, and it kind of works. It takes a little bit of luck in hockey. That's just a fact, and the Avs get some to get their first goal of the game. A half-fanned pass by Brody is read extremely well by Devon Toews, who steps up, takes the pass, and immediately gets on his horse to get up the ice and give the Avs an odd-man rush. He eventually defers to Landy, who goes cross-ice to Mikko, who holds, waits for McKinnon as the fourth man coming in. That's the most room you're ever going to see any team give McKinnon from out up high. McKinnon gets all the way to the top hash before firing. It's not even that good of a shot, but he gets a little bit lucky. It ends up deflecting off of Riley's stick down and right through Campbell. Look, that one's not going to make the all-time highlight reel, but I don't think it's any coincidence that it's Nathan McKinnon scoring the goal to start to get the Avs back in the hockey game. It's 3-1 after the first period. The Avs actually outshot Toronto 12-10 in the period. Again, the Avs' offensive side was good throughout this entire game. It's just that 8, 9, 10-minute stretch of the first period where the defense just completely fell apart, made repeated egregious errors, and it cost them dearly. The reality is, the vast majority of the time, if you put yourself in a 3-goal hole early in the game, you're going to lose. It's just how it is. That's what makes games like this, when the Avs overcome those difficulties, even if they were made by themselves, so special. Honestly, I thought the second period was just a good quality hockey period from both teams. The Avs made one significant mistake. They took a penalty pretty early on in the period, and Toronto has a top 5 power play in the league. The Avs have a bottom 5 penalty kill in the league. I think you know what's coming. This one's pretty brutal. The way Toews is playing this, you don't want to see this pass get through to Simmons at all that's going to come here. And then after that, you're going to see Girard full send a slide that doesn't actually accomplish anything. And even worse than both of those things, Darren Helm just doesn't cover the guy in the middle of the ice. Full stop, doesn't skate with him, doesn't keep up. So when Girard full sends this, Helm is just begging Girard to make sure that this pass doesn't get across the crease. Unfortunately, it does, and now Helm is like, I see, I've given my man a wide open net. Not great, and the puck goes in. That one's a bit of a shame because the first 80 seconds of that power play were extremely good penalty killing from the Avs, but you gotta kill the full thing, and they didn't. Look, you give up that goal and go down by 3 against pretty much any team in the league. This is a game you should probably lose. But let's look at that score a little bit closer. Can you see those two numbers? Can you read those two numbers? Maybe this was a strategic play by the Avs, knowing the Leafs' history. In reality, giving up that power play and goal really did look grim for the Avs, and it was going to be really hard to climb out of. Most of the second period didn't inspire a whole lot of confidence of the Avs getting back in this one either, not because they were playing poorly, but because of how well Jack Campbell was playing. He made multiple big time saves in this hockey game. This is not one of those games where I think the Avs made the opposing goaltender look good. Campbell was just playing super well. The thing about elite players, though, is they find a way. It's not going to be pretty. They might not have their A game, but they find a way to be impactful. Cale Makar found a way. It's a good little shot from Knack that you can see Campbell struggles with his glove on this one. As it comes loose, the Avs are able to maintain possession in deep and eventually work it to Makar, who takes it back out high, cuts across the ice, does the crazy skating things that only Cale Makar can do, and then lets a wrist shot go across his body, going back against his momentum, but towards Campbell's glove side. Maybe he noticed it was a little bit weak. Campbell doesn't even really see this one with a nice screen from Compher in front, and Makar doing freakazoid things that I don't know how he does, and it beats him on that glove side. a really big goal in this hockey game to get it to 4-2 before the end of the second. It's a pretty big difference in dynamic going into the third down by 2 as opposed to down by 3. Down by 3 feels like the other team can pretty much just turtle up and win the game. Down by 2, the other team should still win the game, but they actually have to make sure they earn it. The Avs are just monsters in the third period. They outshot Toronto 19-5. Now, some of that is score effects. That is certainly a factor here with the Leafs trying to protect the lead. But at the same time, you don't regularly see a team getting 4 times more shots than the other team when both are quality hockey teams. Now, eventually they break through Jack Campbell to get the game within 1. I always say the best move in hockey is the one that you don't even do on purpose. Watch the lead up to this goal, and I'm not going to break down a whole lot of it, but just look at how much the Avs are buzzing in the offensive zone on this shift. You have Landy going everywhere, Byron committing in deep and getting the shot on it, and then the Avs just constantly on the puck, beating out the Leafs every stretch of the way, hounding everything down. They're just outworking the Leafs on this play. Mikko drags somehow 4 defenders to that side of the ice, all of them puck watching. Landy says, hey, my guy fell down. I'm going to go to the back post. Mikko will get it to me. No look backhand. Throws it to Landy. And Landy, fans on the play, completely misses the redirect. Sometimes when you're getting goalied, that's the way to beat him. Campbell full sends. Landy gets it on the backhand and just gets it to go. Right there, right then, I was happy with the Avs' performance in this game outside of that 5-minute window in the first. You can take a lot of quality things out of this hockey game, even if they didn't manage to win it. Yes, that one stretch of hockey cost them the game, but the rest of the game, you loved the offensive side of the puck for the Avs, and the defense did get better throughout the night. But why settle for a loss? The Avs are better than that. Certainly, Mikko Rantanen is better than that. I'm going to show you this again because this is the type of things that Avs do when they're at their best. Makar, the man leading the rush, he and Mikko get in deep and they just battle for the puck. They muck it up. They get stuff happening. It looks like Clifford should be able to get this out, but Mikko is right there to take the puck away. It goes back to Makar. He banks it hard around Clifford and over to Mikko. This is just simply getting to the puck and making things happen. All of that isn't that fancy, but it's extremely effective. And then if you want fancy, Mikko just goes between his own legs to feed Comfer. The cameras weren't even ready for it. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting filth. I don't understand. Mikko is actually not human to be able to pull something like that off. How many people on planet Earth could do that play in practice, let alone a game situation at NHL speed? Mikko Rantanen is a freak, and I mean that in the kindest way possible. They get the game-tying goal, they manage to get this game to overtime, and given they were down 4-1, you would take the point, or at least I would take the point. But once again, we're learning about this Avs team this year. They don't settle. This overtime was pretty darn clean for the Avalanche. They actually looked good in an overtime. Mark this date down in history. Just over a minute in, the Avs defense, it's the best in the league. I don't know what you want me to say. Devon Toews, Cale Makar, it's too good. This time, it's Devon Toews getting her done. I even love the long clip of this overtime. Mikko, calm, takes it in around the net, doesn't see anything he likes, skates it back up, reset, totally chill. Drops it off to Toews. Toews finds Kadri nicely, waits beautifully, catches Austin Matthews here, who's been out for a very long time, couldn't get off. The second he looks away, Toews says, I'm going. See ya. The give and go with Kadri. Kadri picks it up immediately, gives it to Toews after getting the man to commit to him, and Toews gets the clean lane all the way into his goaltender. Mikko keeping the defenseman honest. Toews makes the right decision to shoot this puck, and he just beats Jack Campbell. This team is good. Look, don't make a habit of putting yourself in a 3-goal hole early, obviously, but everything else, that is elite level play from a team that just would not take an L tonight. The Leafs are an extremely good team. They showed some holes in their game tonight too. No hockey team is perfect, but even through the mistakes that the Avs made, they went toe-to-toe with another top team in the NHL, and despite the 3 goals they spotted them, they came out on top. Leafs fans, say hi to Dangle for me. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our Avalanche coverage. I am Rudo, and I love comebacks.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the big. The fun isn't over yet, it is Avalanche time.